Hey guys, what's going on today? Bojo here, and I have a very special video that I want to bring to you guys today. As many of you know, I am done playing competitive Hut for the year. I'm still playing it every now and then, just messing around with teams I have in my collection and whatnot. But I decided to make a cool little list for you guys of my top 5 favorite players slash cards to use for the year in Hut. So since Hut will still be fairly popular for maybe about another month or two, I decided to make this list for you guys, letting you know my favorite players to use, why I like them so much. And if you trust my opinion, which I think you should, then you could actually go onto the market and pick them up for yourselves and try them out. So I don't have any gameplay to show it off. I'm just going to be showing the cards on pictures and talking about why I like them so much. I tried to get a good variance of cards, at least like one different card for each player position. Some of them are fairly inexpensive, some of them are mid range, some of them are pretty cheap, but it's just my personal opinion of why I liked all these cards this year. So without further ado, let's get it started with number 5 on my list, and I had this one as a tie between two goaltenders this year. Team of the Year Ben Bishop and a regular Anders Lindback. So the goalies, these were definitely two of my the favorite goaltenders to use this year. Obviously, Team of the Year, whatever you want, Hut Live, regular, or Team of the Year, Ben Bishop, you either loved them playing with them, you either hated playing with them, you either loved playing against them because you knew how to beat them, or you hated playing against them because they'll just rob you on every single shot that you take. Obviously, most of you guys know that NHL 14 was the year of where the tall goaltenders definitely flourished this year. Ben Bishop being like 6'7" or 6'6" or 6'8" or one of those heights. He definitely was the good goaltender this year. So big. You could really only beat him on low shots. Anything you try up high, low, other than maybe a couple glitch shots. Bishop for especially the team of the year, Ben Bishop for me, he was pretty clutch, and I would have to say he was definitely one of my favorite goaltenders to use this year. And then the kind of sleeper goaltender for me that actually worked fairly well was Anders Lindback. I didn't start using him until later. When I was just about to be done with competitive Hut for the year. He only got into maybe about 15 games or so, and he only lost one regulation one for me. He was the goaltender that I played beating Flash because he was on an amazing streak. I think the first game I used, I lost with him, and then I think I just won every single game that I continuously used Anders Lindback for. I tested them out like a couple games before, and like I said, Lindback just played. He played pretty damn good this year. He played just fairly similar to Bishop. Lindback did make a lot more desperation saves. I saw. He Players I seen did definitely hit the post a lot more on Lindback, so you could beat him up high, but still, he was very hard to beat anywhere else you looked at. So Anders Lindback, a regular Anders Lindback. I know there's a Hut Live version of him, and I know people have said good things about that as well, but I felt that the regular Anders Lindback just did amazing things for me, as well as the Team of the Year Ben Bishop, both of which had goals against averages roughly around 1.5 for the year, some even under. I think Lindback had like a 1.01 goals against average for me. So those two of my players were definitely two of my favorite goaltenders to use this year. Okay, so the number 4 player on my list of favorite Hut players to use this year would be the player of the game, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So the Swedish card that came out during the Olympics when all the Sochi cards were getting released, the player of the game ones. This one, I really liked this player of the game, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. People have said that they can find that the Hut Live version and the player of the game played very similar, but I like the player of the game one a lot better. I'm very fond of offensive defensemen. They're my favorite defensemen to use in this game just because they're much shorter, they skate a lot quicker, and they can get back faster on the back check, but I also like them for their offensive touch, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson definitely had a very good offensive touch. His slap shot was good, his wrist shot was good. Like I said, he couldn't really check all that well. He could throw the body every now and then, but he was a great poke checker. Any way you look at it, this was obviously probably one of my favorite defensemen to use this year, just because his speed, his power play. He was amazing on the power play. I put him on the first line power play. However, whatever team I was running on, he was great. Really good puck control, nice passing. Any way you look at it, the player of the game, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, was definitely my favorite defenseman this year to use, and I would highly recommend you guys pick him up because he's so cheap at only like 100K. So that would be my number 4. Okay, so my Flyers fans will definitely appreciate this next one. For number 3 on my list, I chose the Hut Live Wayne Simmonds. So this one, probably my favorite two-way forward player to use in Hut. Any way you look at it, Simmonds, his stats definitely portrayed how he played. He definitely played like an 88 overall kind of player, but I don't know. He was just one of those players that was extremely hard to knock off the puck. I mean, his speed, his shot, his hands were decent. I mean, he can check pretty damn well. He was a great fighter as well. But I don't know. I just really liked Simmonds, especially on my third and or my fourth line, whatever, wherever I decided to play him. For some odd reason, you just couldn't knock this guy off the puck. I really don't understand it. A lot of my players, which I had, there's not many players that I used in Hut where they could easily, they couldn't be knocked off the puck. I know Gretzky was one of the other players that I know was very hard to knock off the puck, and Hut Live Wayne Simmonds was also another one that was really hard to knock him off. Skating, like I said, was good. His shot was decent. Hands were good. He was a good checker, a good fighter, and defensively, he was a great penalty killer. One of my favorite penalty killers to use in this game. So I would highly recommend you guys pick him up too. He's only, if you can find them on the market, he shouldn't be worth more than like 30K. It's a great third or fourth liner to put on your team. Okay, so for my number 2 favorite Hut players to use in this game, I had a tie with these two. I really couldn't make up my mind, so I decided to put them both at number 2 because I felt like both of them played very similar type of games. So these two would be the Team of the Year Taylor Hall and a regular Alexander Ovechkin. So regular Alexander Ovechkin, I really didn't have the money at the time to upgrade to like the Player of the Games, the Hut Lives, the 2 different variations of the Hut Lives for Ovechkin. But Ovechkin was very good. He still had the downside of committing unnecessary penalties at certain times. It was either between him or it was between Ovechkin, Hall, and Kovalchuk to put on here for the number 2 spot. Kovalchuk I liked a lot. He was fast. He was really hard to knock off the puck, but the only reason Kovalchuk did not make it onto this number 2 spot or this list at all was because he just took way too many unnecessary penalties. And Ovi, from time to time, does take the unnecessary penalties, but still, Ovechkin's probably one of the best sniper base cards that you could use in this game. Great speed, great hands, great shot, great defense. He can check as well for not even being that tall. Regular Ovi was great. Team of the Year Taylor Hall was actually really good as well. He was the only version of Taylor Hall that I used this year. I didn't use the regular one, nor did I use the milestone one or the Hut Live. He was the only version of Taylor Hall I used this year, and he was great too. Like I said, he played very similar to Ovechkin, didn't take the unnecessary penalties. Hall could check. He was very quick. He had a great shot, nice hands as well. And yeah, I decided to just put these two guys at number 2 because they played very similar. And yeah, I like both of them. Very great snipers to have on your first line. Hall was on my second. Ovi was on my first. And now we'll go, if you guys have known me and seen my team before, you guys will know which card I chose at number 1. Okay, so if any of you guys have seen my online team before, then most of you probably saw this coming. My number 1 favorite card to use in Hut this year, without a doubt, had to be the Team of the Year, Nathan MacKinnon. Honestly, this card was just absolutely unbelievable. I had used the milestone Nathan MacKinnon before, and I really loved it, and I upgraded to the Team of the Year version, and oh my god. Honestly, guys, if you have not used this card in Hut, I cannot recommend it enough. It's something about this card that whatever line you put it on, if you put it on the first line, if you put it on the second line, if you put it on the third line, if you even put it on the fourth line, if you play your fourth line for a matter of fact, whatever line you put Team of the Year Nathan MacKinnon on, the other 2 people on that line, their stats just went through the roof, and they played 10 times better in addition to MacKinnon playing 10 times better. I played MacKinnon on my second line with Claude Giroux and Team of the Year Taylor Hall. The chemistry between those 3 players was just absolutely unbelievable. Giroux, I think, was the highest, the Hut Live Giroux, the newer one, not the Sochi one. He just played 10 times better. I don't know. He won more faceoffs. He passed greater. His shot got so much better. Same thing with Hall. Hall got quicker, and I don't know. I really couldn't tell you guys. It's just something weird about the Team of the Year Nathan MacKinnon that it just magically makes any player you put next to him play so much better. I liked MacKinnon. He was very quick, extremely quick. He fell a lot quicker than a 93 skating, no doubt. Great hands. He had a really good short side shot. Defensively, he was actually pretty good defensively too, especially if you get a nice little poke check. His speed on the breakouts was really, really good. If you get this guy moving with his speed, it's really good. That was another thing I forgot to mention about the Taylor Hall. Him and Taylor Hall, if you get these guys on breakaways and start to get their acceleration going, man, these two guys are extremely quick. But I cannot recommend this card enough to you guys. Greatest card I've used all year. Honestly, best card in Hut without a doubt. Honestly, it's the greatest card in Hut. So there is my top 5 players to use in Hut this year. Team of the Year, Ben Bishop and regular Anders Lindback. Player of the Game, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. The Hut Live, Wayne Simmons. Regular Alexander Ovechkin / Team of the Year, Taylor Hall. And the Team of the Year, Nathan MacKinnon. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments section down below. Out of all, especially you Hut players down there, let me know what your top 5 cards to use in the game were this year. I'd love to know. And if you've used any of these cards that I have listed in my list, let me know how they worked out for you as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.